going on, everyone?
Car guys and car gals. It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fredlin Arts, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. That's right. We're working on our jingle, guys and gals.
Just trying to get a little. You know the deal. We're so excited. We have an amazing guest here this morning, and we are so pumped up about it. We have a 40 under 40 honoree. I'm telling you, an amazing one. And I'm going to tell you something about this person. You're all going to get excited because we're going to hear the full story from beginning to end. We're going to know exactly where she came from and where she's going. And I'm excited about where she's going. And let's get this thing rolling. She has a lot of new projects ahead. We may be talking about those things too. So get ready for some information. If you guys want to get inspired this morning, it's time to get fired up because we have somebody in the house that will bring the fire. And I'm pumped up about
somebody in the cafe.
Share this thing around.
Open this door up.
Share
tag a car guy. Tag a
That's
car
right.
gal. It is time to brew.
It is time
Once
to brew.
again, get some of your friends up in here. We've been sharing around, getting those in. Thank you
I'm
so
over here
much,
sharing right now,
to
folks.
all of our sponsors and friends for making sure that this message gets out to you all. We are honored to give you a whole other vantage point, a whole fresh new kind of brew inside of the cafe. And we're just going to have to get right to it. We're just talking about forgive, focusing, and flying and what it takes to get this day going. Folks, Car Guy Coffee inside of your cup today is going to get you going because we have the one, the only, Miss
Sarah Vantine. Woo! What's going on?
Hey, great to be here this morning. Good morning, everybody.
No, we're so excited to have you here. Fantastic. She's rocking the red. I got the red right here. So we are matching right now. We're good to go.
I got the red on the hat.
No, well, thank you so much for being here this morning, folks. If you don't know, you will know by the end of the show. So let's have some fun. The first thing that we do with all our guests, before we get any further, is we have to initiate you into this certified solutionary gang, right? And what that is, it's the forgive, the focus, and the fly. Won't you explain that some, Lou?
Well, we can often get bogged down by the weight of unforgiveness, the weight of setback, the weight of whatever it is that stops us from going to what we're supposed to be going towards. And that traps up our focus, right? We get so focused on the weight of unforgiveness that we don't focus on the things that we can control and are better for us. And I've heard it said once before that keeping unforgiveness in your heart is like drinking poison, thinking it's going to hurt the person that you're trying not to forgive. Well, wipe that stuff off, especially if it's you, right? Especially if it's you. If you're upset about not hitting that workout, if you're upset about maybe messing up on that meal, if you're upset about dropping that customer, you know what I mean? Or about not getting that one deal, whatever it is, you got to wipe that off your shoulders. So forgive. And that gives you the opportunity to be able to focus on where it is that you're going, what you want to do, and put the blinders on to the things that distract you. And then you reach out, stretch out in faith, and you begin flying, and you keep growing. And in order to do that, we apply these 3 F's: forgive, focus, fly, so that we can keep growing. So let's get this rocking, and welcome to the cafe. Here we go. Go ahead and cross the shoulders one time, and on 3, get ready to forgive, focus, and fly. 1, 2, 3.
Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing. Keep growing.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh,
You are in the club.
Yes,
You are
well,
one of us now. So now we can actually get to it because now we're family. So we appreciate you for being with us in the cafe this morning, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. Start tagging some people. Start doing that coffee
Drop
cup
some coffee
emojis,
cup
all those
emojis.
types of things, because we have a superstar in the building today. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Sarah. So let's get this thing going. Why don't you give them a quick introduction of yourself? Tell them who you are and what you do for a living.
Hey, everyone. So I am Sarah Vantine. I'm coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina this morning. I have been in the car business for almost, over 12 years now, which is mind blowing.
Wow.
But started in sales. I have become a business development guru in the industry, business development maven, if you will. And, right now I'm with Quantum 5. This is my new home. I am so excited to be part of this amazing company. And so Quantum 5 is where I'm at these days. And just have so much going on, so much awesome things on the horizon. So super pumped to be here today.
I can tell, and you can see in that smile that you're excited about life, that you're excited about today, you're excited about tomorrow. So these things are all amazing things happening, and you're putting a lot of work towards it, and you have for the last 12 plus years now. And I'm excited to have you here. Think about that, folks. You know, she's an honoree of the 40 Under 40 with Automotive News, and what was that back? Well, it was a couple years ago, wasn't it?
Yes, 2018.
That's what I'm saying. Like, think about that. So then she was less than 10 years in the business and she was already considered a 40 under 40. I love that. That is fast tracking. That is called somebody who loves this job, somebody who takes this thing seriously, and somebody who's having fun doing it too, because it's all those criteria that people are looking for when you get nominated for anything like that. That's huge. So congratulations to you. And I know that's just the beginning. That's just one award, folks. She's going to come with a lot. There's going to be so many other things that we're going to talk about today. You know, and the very first question that I love to ask everyone, it's your why, it's your drive, it's your purpose. What gets you up every single day, Sarah, to do what you do, to become a 40 under 40, to become the best version of yourself? What pushes you?
Really, at the end of the day, it's my family, my kids, my husband, that just setting, you know, I'll say this. I've had some amazing role models throughout my life. I've had some amazing parents. I've had my sister and a lot of amazing people along the journey in this automotive industry, right? There's been people that I've seen, you know, that could do amazing things. And it was like, wow, what really drives this person at the end of the day? And for me, my family is that driver to show them that, look, whatever it is, just put your mind to it, you can do it. And I've seen so much success in this industry specifically that being able to be part of it and change the narrative, change people's lives, change everything about the customer experience, where we're going in this industry. It's just been an amazing ride, and I am so happy to be part of it.
Wow. That's definitely
so right on the money.
Something that is in line with so many of the solutionaries that come together, is having their heart focused towards their family and being a prime motivator. You know what I mean? You work differently when you understand you're working for someone else, right? And at heart, right? And that's that transitions again. That's a 40 under 40 recipient, folks. The focus has to be towards the family. You have to do that in order to have a healthy, growing business. Oh, come on.
You got to have a deep why. You know, a lot of times we can have surface whys, and there's so many different little whys that we all have as human beings. You know, sometimes I just want a new pair of shoes. Sometimes I just want a hat. Sometimes I want to go on that vacation here in 3 months that I really want to take my family somewhere that's special. So it drives you to work a little bit harder to earn a little bit more, right? And that's good. But do you have all those whys, right? It's your family. It's the drive. It's making sure that they're taken care of, that they see that growth happens when you put work behind it, that all the things that you could dream of can come true. Man, woman, child does not matter. Just put work behind everything you have faith on. And you do that, and you do it really great, and you've done it extraordinarily. And that's why we have you on the show, and that's why we're excited to have you here today. And I love that you have that why. And I think that when I go and write a book about all these interviews that we've done, and I'm going to do that one day, when I do, I want to talk about all these questions that I've asked. And this question here, there's a certain point where most people, they hit that. They can talk about all these services. Oh, I want to be the best. I want to do this. I want to do that. But why do you want to be the best, right? It gets deeper. You got to keep going. It's like that same thing, you know, never assume, just keep asking, get deeper into that. And you got deep. It's your family. It's your children. It's your husband. And they honor you and you honor them. And I love that. And that's a beautiful thing. And congratulations on knowing your why. Because some people don't. But what I found is that people who are successful, people who have accomplished things, they already know their why. They know exactly what's pushing them. They think about it every single day, probably the moment they wake up. So thank you for answering it that way. And that's amazing, folks.
I mean,
I feel like Alex Flores. That's amazing, right? So I love it. I love it.
And the path that we take, I mean, inside of finding our why, finding ourselves, I mean, because it's still going to evolve, right? Your kids, how old are your kids?
So I have 3 amazing children. I have a 8-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 9-month-old.
Oh,
so we got,
man.
Yes.
You have a 9-month-old? Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You're working hard. I mean, that's a full-time job in itself. But to be able to do that, juggle a beautiful career that you have an amazing family like that, be able to spend that's folks.
That's incredible. Let's
folks,
get it done, folks.
That's what I'm talking about. Superstar in the house, right?
Women in automotive,
they dominate.
Again, they know how to get it done,
no doubt,
and still bring an incredible level of class, standard. And again, I believe women just think smarter or with both sides of their brains in a way that we don't. And they're able to juggle so much more. But because of that, they find different things that they enjoy about the car business,
right,
things that they don't enjoy about the car business. There is this veil that may seem to be on the car business towards women, that this isn't really a place for them, or the only place for them is in particular positions, right? They can only do certain things. And again, this is not just the auto industry, right? This is industry, right? That veil is usually only there because somebody believes it's there. Either somebody told them that it's there, somebody has convinced them that it's there, but in the end, it's not. There is no veil. That any woman can step into this industry. Any man, any race, any religion can step into this industry and find success. And we're trying to make sure that we do break people past that imaginary veil and come on into this business and do their very best at being them. And we want to entice the business to do so. But I want to ask you, what enticed you? What made you choose
That's a good question.
The automotive industry, to be named that? I mean, let's see if we can get a shot in here. We can get a little bit more of that 40 under 40. You see that over there with Ally, folks? Let me get that bubble off of the screen. That 40 under 40 logo there.
So you're trying to get it? I'll get it off.
Bam.
There you go.
See that?
Look how beautiful that is. I mean,
so nice.
You see that? Look, yeah. Accomplishment, folks. That's huge, and I think that it's a big deal. It's a lot of work, but what it really is that there's a bunch of people that go in for this award, and there's only so many they pick. Right. And for her to be nominated for that, and then to be an honoree of it, it's amazing. So but we keep going back to that, but that's not what's the most amazing thing about Sarah. Not at all. It just looks pretty over there in the corner, and it's really fantastic, and it looks really good on a resume. Don't get me wrong. And it's fantastic, and I know how hard that is to earn, right? And I respect that so much.
That's a great accomplishment. But it is. But that is available for anybody that believes in themselves and takes similar path and step that you've taken. So, what was it that brought you here?
Exactly.
So, it's interesting because I think, and it's funny, I've talked to so many different people in the industry, and for me, it really happened by accident, completely by accident. I was not looking to be in the car business at all. In fact, I think one of the first conversations when I told my parents, and my mom specifically, that I was going to be part of the automotive industry, she literally said, "Why?" and so my background, so I graduated from College of Charleston, and I was really looking to pursue a career in art history, specifically looking at antiquities, and really wanted to go the museum curation route. That was really what I wanted to do and what I had spent, my undergraduate years really trying to accomplish. And then, 2008, 2009 comes around, and it's like, okay, so if you really want to pursue this, you're going to have a PhD. And that means going back to school. But right now, people with PhDs, if you're trying to get a unpaid internship, that's what they're looking for. They want people with PhDs. And I just said, okay, that's not going to work because I have bills to pay and I need to earn a living. And so I really was, what am I going to do? Right. I mean, it was something that I had to sit down and go, okay, I need to rethink and refocus what I need to be doing with my life now. And I was really kind of lost at that time. And I got in my car, and I got sort of dressed up. I put a nice dress on and printed a stack of my resumes, and I just got driving. And I remembered that I had seen a post somewhere. I don't remember if it was a magazine or a newspaper, that this particular Dodge dealership, in Charleston, South Carolina, was hiring. And so I pulled off of the highway, went right inside, walked up to the receptionist desk, and I said, "Hi, I'm here to interview." And she was like, "What position are you looking for?" and I said, I'm looking for a sales position. I saw that you were hiring for that. And she also gave me kind of a weird sales. Are you sure you're not here for something else? No, I'm here. That's what I want. I saw y'all were hiring. So I wound up going, she paged a couple sales managers, and I went in for my job interview
Mhm.
for the position. And one of the sales managers, when his first conversation to me, he took my resume and he looked at it real close, kind of had the scowl on his face, flipped it over one time, put it down on the desk and goes, "Why the hell would I hire you?"
Oh, wow.
And that was the out the gate question. So first exposure to the car business right there. Why the hell would I hire you? Well, I'm from Georgia and I'm a little snarky and a little difficult. So so I took that and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to get a job. So what do I have to lose? So I told him, all right, well, that's fine if you don't want to hire me. But what I'll do is next door is hiring too, the Chevy dealership. So I'll go there and get a sales job, and then I'm going to run circles around you. And
he loved that.
Oh yeah, that was
closed. Yep. I would have been like, when can you start?
That's exactly what happened next. He was like, all right, when can you start?
Yep. That's the boldness. Yep. That's what's needed, and you already had it inside you. That's what's so beautiful. God bless. That's amazing. Keep. I'm sorry. Keep going. I love it.
Well, so that was job interview number 1. So a few weeks later, I started, and I came in, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, really excited to explore the automotive industry and see what was in store for me. And the first day, I came in with a group of I was one of 14 new hires for sales specifically. And the general manager had a pep talk that morning. And his pep talk was, so you see, there's a lot of new faces here. Don't get your hopes up too much because we're going to fire all of you except for 2.
Wow.
And we want to see what kind of natural talent you have. So we're not going to really bother to train you or really show you the ropes. Just pick somebody that's been here a while and you can shadow them for a bit and we'll see what you got. Wow. So hell of a pep talk my first morning. And so, I think my initial thought was, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? This is not good. And, the rest of the day kind of proceeded that same fashion. So I was talking to different people and I will say, there were definitely some people that were very polite and very courteous and very nice to me. And then there were some others that were like, hey, so we put a pool together and we've got you lasting 2 weeks. So do us all a favor and check out by then so I can collect my money. And until then, I'm going to make your life a living hell. Welcome.
Welcome to the car business.
Yes, welcome.
And it's in this male dominated, I hate to say not male dominated, male influenced business. It's slowly shifting and I'm glad to see it, but it's definitely still that way, but it was definitely more pronounced 10 plus years ago. And to see that happen and you to come in and take that with grace and that attitude that you had, that banger, that's as a car guy, I respect that. I respect that on anybody. When I interview somebody, I look for those things. I look for somebody who's going to be bold, somebody who's going to actually ask me questions, somebody who's going to sit there and not just go with the flow. You don't want people to just go with the flow. You want people to understand process and all this stuff, but you want somebody who has their own thought process, has their own way of being, has their own personality. Personality goes a long way in this business. And obviously you got it for days. We could see it right now, even when you're just talking about that and your whole situation. You were meant for the car business just because you took that with grace. You went in, you're like, I want this job. I'm going to take this job. And I know it's only going to be 2 people left at the end of this, but guess what? I'm definitely one of those 2. And that's something that is the mentality that you have to have. That's the kind of mentality I know I had when I walked into a dealership. I know for sure Lou had that because I was his floor manager when he started selling cars. And it was just one of those things you see in people and you're like, that's special. Not everyone has that. You can teach that to some people, but they don't always just have that. Some people just walk into this game and they just have that knack. They just know they love to work hard. They love to push themselves. They love to see how far they can go. They love to outwork people around them. I do, and it's just one of those things. It's not that I feel like I have to outwork people. It's just something I just always done. Like that's the way I was raised. I was like, hey, work harder than everyone else in the room. That's how you go further. That's how you become good. That's how you become great. And that's something I'm sure you did in your journey. That's amazing. That is so cool that you got into business that way, that somebody was like, why the hell would I hire you? And you're like, well, there's a dealership right up the street that's going to hire somebody and I'm going to go there. And when I get there, I'm going to just kick your butt the whole time. How about that? I swear, if you would have said anything close to that to me, I would have been like, yes.
Right.
Yes. I would have been
Well,
like,
and that's not to say that I didn't have hard days, right? I mean, I definitely remember being there those first 2 weeks, and there were mornings where it's like, all right, I got to be there for the 8:30 sales meeting.
yep.
And I would be there at 8:15 a.m. on the verge of tears at my steering wheel going, oh my God, I don't know how I can put up with this for another day. But to your point, it's like I saw that there were these people in this industry, and I'm like, wait a minute. When I got my first paycheck, I was like, whoa, hold on. What is this? Is this a mistake? Is this really what I just made for
Yep.
this pay period? And they're like, yeah, Sarah, that's commission. That's your bonus. That's what you earned. And from then on, it was like, oh,
that's good.
yeah, back up. This is a totally different world now. And so
Yes.
I think it's more than the paycheck though, too, right? I mean, it's definitely that I saw this business and I saw some of the opportunities that were there. And it's like, okay, if they can do it, I know I can do it. And, it's something that definitely there were hard days. There were days that I was crying sometimes going into work, but it was like, all right, you got to suck it up. You got to put on your game face. You're going to walk in there with a smile on your face, and you're not going to let these people that want you to quit in 2 weeks to force their hand to get their way, because that's just going to fly in the face of what, I mean, I just have that. I don't know. That's probably something I inherited from my mom or my dad. I'm very stubborn. And I know that probably drove my parents crazy as a kid. And I know I can see that in my oldest daughter. I'm like, oh, great. Here we go. Like, but that stubbornness and that tenacity to just be like, not let go of something. It's like, I know I deserve a spot here. I know that I can do it. And, sometimes it's just that mental game of you have to want it bad enough.
Oh, I agree. I think honestly, as messed up as it was, is like, why the hell would I hire you? I think that probably struck even a bigger fire underneath you. It's like, yeah, let me show you why, fool. Not only am I going to make you eat your words, but I'm going to be the highest earner in this building, and you're going to promote me. You're going to do all these things because I am something that is what you call crucial, essential, somebody that you need in this business. And I'm so glad that you got in this business, because we do need many more people like you so we can make this business better on a daily. There's a lot of people right now out there preaching we're better together. There's a lot of people who are trying to make a change in this business. Glenn Lundy's one of them, one of my good friends. I love Glenn, appreciate his tenacity and trying to help this business get better. We got some guys now that are new, like Kyle Mansour. He's out there trying to do things right now with Mr. Paul Daly, and they're doing amazing things. And I love that. So our voices are starting to amplify. We're starting to see, hey, it's time to make a change in this business, and people are hearing that. And you're one of those people, and I love that. And you're definitely out there with your company, with Quantum 5, coming up with some amazing things to be able to do so. Along the way, as you got in this business, you talk about people. You talked about your parents being great role models for you. You talked about having a great husband and a good family life, right? You also talk about people in the business that have pushed you in different ways. Now, we all have mentors. We all have people that we can say, hey, they really helped me make a shift or help me change my mind thought on a certain thing. Who would you call that person or those people? Name some people, like some mentors of yours that are amazing to you that you can give some shout outs to real quick.
So there's been so many amazing people that have really crafted the trajectory of my career and where I've gone. And I mean, first and foremost, I've got to say that Chris Cady from the Scott Clark Auto Group, where I last was, he's really the person that enabled me to take some of these shots that I've been able to do in the last 5 years. And really, some of it was when he came and he was like, all right, I see you in this industry. I see who you are, and I see your potential and where you're going. Yep. And I want that in my organization. And so I was able to grow in totally different ways, where it was like, okay, in his company, when he said, all right, we're going to do a business development center for service. This is something that we crucially need. We're having a really hard time with retention. We're having a really hard time with customer satisfaction. We are losing service business, and we don't really have a solution to fix it. But I know that you're the right person to put in this position to fix it. And then it was kind of like, he gave me all the support. I mean, really and truly just was like, whatever technology, you need computers, Cool. You need a telephony system? Cool. You need whatever you need done. And he had that trust in me that it was like, all right, I know you're going to make the right decisions for this company that's going to grow my business and grow, the whole business for everybody else. And also, keep customers happy and satisfied and coming back. And so he really enabled me to take a look at business development and go, all right, now that I don't have to, go to a committee to get an approval on like what I want to do or how I'm going to do it and have to have, all these check boxes of little steps that I have to make a change. Now it's like, all right, I can collaborate with the service directors. I can collaborate. We can figure out all these different solutions. And then we have the autonomy to just execute them. And so that was, I think, the most critical thing in the last 5 years was just having this bandwidth to be like, all right, I see what the problem is. I know we need more retention. I know we need more customers. I know we need better CSI. Let me put the tools and the processes in place that's going to execute it. I was able to completely train and develop my people and mentor them in whatever way that I wanted to. And so it really, I think for me, it gave me a lot of opportunity to continue to build on some of the skills that I'd had in the sales department and in some of my previous jobs too.
That's incredible. The correlation and the connection pieces that are weaved into all of that.
Right on.
Because folks, those of you that are leading people, those of you that are following people, keep seeking what it is that she said was inside of that relationship right there. If the resources are available to offer somebody that you can trust to take your business to the next level, if those are available and that person's there and available and willing, remove the extra layers or the veils. I keep going back to the veils. I don't know. I got a daughter getting married this week. So, I keep thinking
Friday,
veils, right?
Yay!
So,
walking his daughter down the aisle.
With that veil that stays on the other side of, okay, well, tell me exactly how you're going to get everything done before I start trying to get it all done. Instead, here, let me give you the tools and allow you the opportunity to apply those, because I know you're at heart, you're going to get this problem solved, whether it's fixing the engine, right? Give me the tools and I will get underneath there and get it fixed the way that it needs to. If you know that I'm the right person for this job. Now, not everybody's the right person for each job, right? When you have somebody that believes in you almost to the level that you believe in yourself. And sometimes, right? Sometimes it exceeds it. Sometimes you'll walk away like, man, this is a big problem. Right? This is a big problem. I don't know if I can handle this. And that person has to, hey, right here, I believe in you to do this. You can get it done. You have the tools, whatever it takes, go get it done. But when you had that relationship, that is an anchor, folks, that helps big things get done, especially when people believe in themselves. And you did it from the beginning. That's the thing that I love about salespeople is that they're believe makers. That's what they do. They make believers out of people.
That's it.
And you did that from the beginning. You said, hey, that's an opportunity. I believe I would be right for that, or at least it should be an opportunity should be available for me. You said, no veil here. Let's go beyond that. Let's get that. Oh, you think that you might even pose that there's a veil available, right? And you could then say, why should I hire you? That may look like opposition, but no, folks, that's just an opportunity for you to step up. The challenge is never there to diminish you. The challenge is only there to promote you. The challenge is only there to get you to that next level. And you did that from the beginning. And no wonder why, again, you have many accolades, many great things that you can attribute to your career, but you have also had people that were key in that reciprocation relationship.
Absolutely.
To push you to the next level, that believed in you and gave you the tools. Put that in your cup, leaders. Trust your people. Give them the tools.
That's amazing. And it's so right on the money. And it's nice because, things happen for a reason. Like, so as the universe comes together and we start to feel all these things and we start to see the signs, you start to see these things. And when you have somebody like that in your life, that was this whole destiny that you had. It's like when you went in and you went for that first interview, and we're going to go back for that. When you first went in for the job and he was like, why the hell would I hire you? Right. That is exactly the same thing as a salesperson. We don't have a job and we're just order takers until the moment that they tell us no, right? When a customer's like, nah, not today, I got to think about it. That's when we become a salesperson. Up to that point, all we're doing is showing a vehicle, we're helping them, and we're presenters until the moment that we have to become a salesperson. And that's what separates the difference between somebody who's selling 5 cars a month to somebody who's selling 20 plus, right? And it's because they are the ones who, once they hear that no, they get excited. They don't get scared. They don't crumble and fall apart, right? You're supposed to hear no's. You're supposed to have those things. You're supposed to have these concerns. People are buying and spending a lot of money with you. And just like when they're hiring you, they're doing the same thing. Or when they're giving you an opportunity to change a department and make it better and find a way to be a solutionary, which she is now, folks. We saw her do this Forgive Focus Fly earlier. She's certified. Yeah. So she's a solutionary. And when you're a solutionary and somebody sees that, when you have a leader and somebody that's been, somebody that's there for you, that supports you and sees the skills inside you and sees the potential that you can do and also what you could do for them, it's a two-way street. It always is. And people give that because they know you're going to give back. And that's amazing. And I love that. I love that story. I love how that worked out for you, because that is part of your development where you got to where you're at today. And I know one day when you have and you probably already have, but when you have opportunities to be able to pass on that knowledge to others, you will. And you're doing it right now on being on the show, but I'm sure you do it every single day with your people, with your friends, with your clients, with your family, your kids, even your husband, right? And it's a beautiful thing that you are that type of person, and people see that inside you because you always put it out there for people to see. You're working, you're always doing this. You're not one that hides away from a problem. Matter of fact, you see a problem, you're like, hey, how can I solve it? That is once again why she's a solutionary. So I love that, and I absolutely love that you have people like that in your career, that you've had people like that on your steps on your way up to the top. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm looking forward to hearing stories one day about somebody we interview who says, oh yeah, Sarah Vantine, she was like, yeah, she told me this and this is how I got here, right? And that will happen, and that's a beautiful thing. And just keep doing what you're doing, and you will keep growing the way you're growing, and that's beautiful.
Absolutely. And inside of that growth, many things try to throw shade on your
many things,
your reach for the light, right? There's so much shade that gets in there, so many nicks and bumps and bruises
or veils.
So what has ultimately been the hardest lesson that you've had to learn, or the biggest challenge in this running? Because a lot of people see, that rise to the top, and they again, I want people to believe that it's attainable for them to come in.
Right.
I also want them to have faith that they're going to get past the big giants, in their life, the big obstacles. They're going to get past it. Just like you did. What has been the biggest challenge that you've overcame inside of your path to where it is that you are today?
Well, and this is probably getting kind of personal, but there's been different challenges that of course come up in anybody's career, right? I mean, there's different things that happen that don't go according to plan, or you put a process in place and it's like, oh, that didn't work. That completely blew up in my face. But the thing that you have to have is that, reflect on it, look at it, and then make a commitment to grow from it. And it's just that continuing, process of, all right, this is a chapter, but it's not the end chapter. This is just that one page, and it's going to always be part of you. It's always going to be part of who you are. I think probably the hardest thing in the last couple of years was, so we have 3 beautiful children, but in between my son, who's now 9 months old, about 2 years ago, we lost our daughter actually in birth. So she died when I was, 40 weeks pregnant, and it was completely a shock to us. We had, 2 other beautiful children prior to that. And so I was going through like my day at work. I was in labor at work, like I was the last 2 times I had, my other 2 daughters. And so it didn't feel to me like it was any different. But then, that entire day completely just, it was the most devastating moment of my life in that moment. And so, from it to go to something where we were expecting joy and adding to our family, to complete and utter grief and devastation, I think for me, it definitely was a moment where it was like, all right, when I came back to work and I came back to my desk, that was one of the hardest days for me, to be like, here's where I was. And the last time I was sitting here, I was in labor. But it was one of those things that was like, I have to do this. I have to overcome it, because this is not going to be the end of, this is not the end of my time here. I need to be here for my team. I need to show my team that this is unfortunately, it's part of life. There's going to be moments where you have incredible grief and incredible sadness and incredible hard personal things that do throw, it's impossible for that to not affect you professionally. Every other relationship that you have, it's going to affect you in everything that you do from that moment on. But it's how you navigate through it. It's how you continue to put one foot in front of the other. And sometimes there's days where it's like, yeah, it's really hard to put one foot in front of the other. But also, I had 2 other children at that point. I have my husband. I have people that rely on me to make decisions and do things. And it was like, all right, I have to hold on to this and recognize it. And it's part of me and it's always going to be. But I have to own this and take it further, and just know that this is going to be an important chapter in my life and where I go from here. And so, for me, it was just like, I need to show that there is life after this, that there is things to be happy about. There's other joyous moments that are going to come. And so, now, my son, he's 9 months old. He was, we were so blessed to have him. And,
Yes.
And that's been, another happy moment, another happy chapter in my life. And so I think it's just, the lesson that I learned there was really just, no matter what life throws at you, there's going to be hard times. There's going to be moments that are going to rock you to your absolute core, and they're going to hurt. But those moments are the times where you can build yourself back in different ways. And it is a strength. There's strength in that sadness. There's strength in those moments of despair and those moments of tragedy that are going to build you even stronger than you ever thought possible. And so I think now it's still pretty fresh, but it's, 2 years back now, and looking at the time since then, I think I've been amazed at some of the things that I've been able to do and overcome in that time. So I definitely think that, life is going to throw you hard lessons and hard events, but it's all completely about how you respond from there.
Amen. Girl, let me tell you something. That is amazing story. I'm sorry to hear about that, but at the same time, I love how you acted afterwards. You had a reason. You had whys. That's how it breaks it down to it again. Starts for the first question. You have your other 2 beautiful children that were healthy and alive, and you had to be there for them. You had a team at the dealership that was looking at you like, what is she going to do? How is she going to act? And you had to show them, hey, look, I went through some tragedy, folks, and it's difficult and it's not easy. It's still not easy to this day. I'm sure you think about it, right? But at the same time, you also focus on what you have control over. And what you have control over is your attitude every single day when you wake up, when you show up to work. You have an opportunity to be everything you want to be. Stories like that and hearing things like that, they're heartbreaking, at the same time. But look how beautiful life has been since you're honoring your daughter by, you had another child. That's another thing. A lot of people are scared to have another one, and you did that, and you showed, hey, look, I can go through tragedy in life and honor and still keep growing and not stop. I'm going to still keep growing my family. I'm going to still love my family. I'm going to pour into my family, and I'm still going to honor my daughter. And I love that. And I love that you've talked about that today. And I know that's not an easy thing to talk about. But I also know that it's needed to be heard. People need to hear that you've been through things like that, and that you still have a smile on your face. You get to work every single day, and you're always trying to still be a great mother at home, a great wife, a great leader at work, and also help dealerships develop their business centers and make sure that they're doing well too. And all that while going through things like that in life. Some people would give up after a moment like that. They'd be like, I'm done. I think that a blessing was that you did have a career. A blessing was that you did have things to look forward to. You had your family, you have your why there, but having more, your extended family, all those things. You mentioned it. You said, when I got there, I know people were looking at me like, how am I going to react? And you reacted right on the money. And not a lot of people would. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't either. If you've crumbled for a month or 2, 3 months, a year, how could anyone blame somebody for that? But instead, you took the other side and said, look, I'm going to use that as energy to further myself and honor my daughter. And I love that. And thank you for sharing that with us this morning.
Yeah, that definitely rocks me to my core.
Lou, his daughter that's getting married went through that. We're
in the actual due date. of what is my first granddaughter is the actual day that they're getting married now. So we're excited that there's a lot of joy that's coming out of that.
Amen. Right.
You know, the word says that he gives beauty for ashes. The thing is folks, the horrible, crappy things of our life turn into being the things that best fertilize the growth inside of our life.
Amen.
We grow past it.
Truth.
We then have to go towards that light and continue growing. But the responsibility that we have to be good stewards of today is in front of us. And I'm sure that you gave room for processing, right? You can see it, folks, the way that she's standing and the smile that she has, the confidence that she has, and the leadership fruit that's behind her in what she's accomplished shows that she's allowed process to take place. And everybody processes things differently.
Oh, yeah.
But being able to have the support around her, being able to also have the accountability of one, knowing who it is that she is, then knowing who it is that she is to other people, then makes her do some solutionary things and say, let's get in gear. Let's still find a way to grow, and let's let life keep happening. And you find the reasons to celebrate. You find the reasons to bring joy, and you have strength, folks. You have strength inside of your joy. And she brings that smile. She brings that excitement to the industry and shows it again that even in crazy adverse situations where most people would buckle down and think that there is a imaginary wall or an imaginary veil for you breaking through. No, you can get past it, and you can still accomplish great things.
And not only did she just get past it, she grew. She exponentially got better in her life and herself. She even grew her family. So it's a beautiful thing. And I'm once again, thank you for sharing that with us. Because like I said, I know it's not an easy memory, but at the same time,
and it does get a little personal on the show sometimes.
It does get a little personal, and I appreciate you getting personal with us, and we appreciate that. And folks, get inspired. Let's keep this thing moving. Let's keep this thing grooving. And I appreciate you so much, Sarah. This morning we have one last question for you, and this question it's a positive question. It's about your greatest reward. Out of all the things, we've talked about your why, we've talked about how you got in this business, we've talked about the people that have influenced you, we talked about sorrow in this business and how you overcame it and became better. The question I have for you once again is, what has been your greatest reward up to this point?
So, I mean, in this business, I think the biggest thing, and this is also one of the reasons why I joined Quantum 5 in the last, I just came out of the retail side of the industry, and now here I am with Quantum 5, and I've absolutely loved this company and my new journey. But I think one of the biggest things what drew me to it and what I'm most passionate about is the opportunity to see people's lives changed in this business and see how I can influence or impact those changes. And so, in the dealership world, I've had employees of mine that came into the industry and they were like, I'll give an example. Elizabeth Martin is the now business development manager at Scott Clark. And she is sitting in my old desk today. And she is the opportunity to now run that department. It was something where she came into the business and she was like, I really am only going to be here probably a few months, because she wanted to go, and she has a master's in HR. Okay. And that was really where she wanted to go. She was thinking HR is more of my career path. I think that would be something I would be more, focused on. This was just kind of a short-term gig to her. And I was okay with that. That was something at the time when I hired her. I said, I think you're a great person. I see that there's a lot of potential in you. So, even if it's not something that you're going to be here long term, I want to be part of your journey. I want to be able to have the best of you while you're here. And wherever you go, I'm going to be one of your biggest cheerleaders and biggest supporters. Right. Well, it just happened to turn out that she saw this business in this industry, and she's like, whoa, wait a minute, I see what you're doing, and that's really cool. I want to be part of that too. And so she's been somebody that I've really enjoyed watching her journey and watching her grow over the last 4 or 5 years, where she's now at the helm of this monster business development center. And I see her continuing to shape other people's lives. And so I think, and I've had those opportunities at different points in my career in different ways, being somebody that as a salesperson, the reward in that was seeing somebody's face when, they got a vehicle that they were just like, oh my God, this is the best day ever. I've been saving for this car, and you helped me find this. And building those relationships and building that mutual trust in just being human, just being part of this world together, and just whatever I could do in the course of my career that built people up. Whether I was selling them a car, whether I was, developing a department and building it from scratch and putting in business development processes. And then now with Quantum, where it's like, okay, this is now getting out into the whole auto industry. I'm no longer confined to one dealership or one organization. Now I have the entire country open, where I can now step into these opportunities to influence and train and just help people realize the best versions of themselves. So I think that's definitely been the greatest reward I've seen.
You are on point, my friend. I love that. I love that. And I knew that we were on the same frequency. I just knew that there was a reason why I had to have you on the show. Folks, if you've been watching the show today, and if you've seen it from beginning to end, you guys see the power of just being positive, the power of working hard, the power of being confident in yourself, the power of taking that extra step, right? Letting things that, even if they seem horrible, like someone telling you, hey, why the hell would I hire you? Or losing a child. Those things can all be some of the most tragic things that can happen. So, those are different levels. And I didn't mean to go from one extreme to the other, but I did. I want people to understand the full grasp of her career. She's been through things. She doesn't just walk through and just, everything landed in her lap. It wasn't an overnight success. It wasn't one of those things where she didn't have to put any work in. It just happened. She didn't just walk into the right store and it just gave it to her. No, she went and earned every bit of it. Even when tragedy hit her in the face, she said, you know what? I'm still going to put a smile on my face, and I'm going to be a leader, and I want to show people that you can be in this business and you can love this business. And then she ends it all with talking about legacy, folks. A legacy of growth. She's talking about not just in the next person that took her place at the dealership, but also in the people that she's helped buy cars in the past. Everyone that you've helped, that's legacy. That's what you're doing. When you are helping people, is what we do in the car business. We're not hurting people. And if you are, that's why you probably won't last long in this business and probably don't make that much money.
You probably need some Car Guy coffee.
You probably need some of this Car Guy coffee right here to get you caffeinated, because your culture ain't right.
That's right.
But the thing is that we need to start understanding this business is about people. It's about helping each other as human beings. And if you can get that in your head and you can start doing that, and you can do that with confidence and do it with fulfillment and do it with love, no matter what gets thrown in your face, no matter how many no's you hear, no matter how many questions they look at you like, why are you doing this? You just keep doing it with a smile on your face. And I promise you, at the end of the day, you will leave a legacy on this planet that will be beyond most people. A lot of people give up on a lot of positions. Somebody walks in the office and they say, why the hell are you here? They just say, I don't know, clam up. Other ones may have a tragedy and lose something in their lives that are really major to them, and they give up. And it's not, I'm not saying that you're wrong or right if you do any of those things, but what I'm saying is, if you choose the latter, the one of not giving up, the one of being understanding of this world, understanding that there is better days ahead, you will go a lot further, and you will be a much happier person, folks. And you will be able to leave a legacy on this planet, just like our friend Sarah is doing right now. And I'm looking forward to watching your journey, because still super young, still only 12 years in this business. I can't wait to talk to you when you're 20, 30 years in this business. I have a feeling there's going to be some big things happening between now and then. And I cannot wait to be able to do follow-ups with you and get to know you some more. And hopefully see you at a few events. Now that you're on that vendor side, we're going to be at a lot of events. Yes. We're on the vendor side now too, because we're from retail. We just jumped into vendor. So common ground. I honestly, that's why I know we were supposed to meet. And I love what you have and what you're doing. And I love what your company's about. But most importantly, honestly, I love what you're about. And you're amazing. I think no matter what company you're at, it's going to flourish. They're very lucky to have you. And I'm lucky that we had you here on the show this morning. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much again for having me. It's been an honor.
Oh, man. Beyond an honor. Thank you.
Beyond an honor. And if anybody needed to hear you today, I'm so thankful that I got the chance to hear some of your testimony. I love the groups that do come together to support each other, that do deal with these types of tragedies and any sort. Folks, I encourage each and every one of you, have people that you can lean into.
Yes.
Whether you're listening to this on the podcast, you're watching this on the replay, you're watching it right now, have people that you can lean into that are confident enough to remind you of who it is that you are when you lose sight of it yourself. And when you do that, folks, I'm telling you, you're going to live a life of forgiving, focusing, and flying. You're going to keep growing, and you're always going to be brewing solutions. And that's what we want to raise up, is people that are solutionaries, just like Sarah. It doesn't matter what the challenge is. If you believe that you can go and overcome that challenge, you can do so and be a light and a doorway for many, many others, just like our friend Sarah has been today. Be encouraged, folks. Put this incredible Car Guy coffee with this incredible car gal in your cup today. We have made history with the one, the only Sarah
Vantine!
I am Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
And I'm Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And you have been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Check us out at carguycoffee.com. Make sure that you go listen to all the solutionaries that are out there. Right now, you can listen to Miss Liz Martin as she breaks down some of the awesomeness that is her journey as a car gal to Dealership Toolkit. I am so thankful for you spending this time with us today. Folks, go jam it out. Go dance it out. Go vibe it out. Bring some good vibes to your dealership today, to your business, and to everybody out there. We love you all. Sarah, thank you so much. Wave goodbye to everybody. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for your time, because I know how valuable time is. And thank you for sharing that story, because honestly, I'm so inspired by you.
Yes.
I'm so glad I got to know you a little bit more, because I was already inspired. Now I'm super inspired by you, and I can't wait to share the story some more. Folks, if you guys have not watched this live and you're just catching it, it is going to be on the replay. It's going to be all over social. It's already there. It's on Facebook. It's on LinkedIn. It's on YouTube. Just press play and you get to see some amazing stuff and hear some things that will inspire you this morning. So again, thank you so much, Sarah. What a great morning. I am so pumped up about the day. I can't wait to go crush it.
Let's crush it. Let's go ahead and stamp this, because Miss Sarah is 100%
CGC approved. That's right. That's right. She's amazing. She's amazing, my friends. We appreciate you. Sarah, you got any final words before we get out of here?
Y'all have a great day. Crush it.
I love it. You can tell she's from the South. Y'all have a great day. That's the only way to be. I love Southern hospitality. We love you. We appreciate you. People, solutionaries, rise up. It's time to go. It's time to grow. Don't stop today. Go harder today. It's not the day to give up. Let's go.
Let's brew.